Hello there, welcome back to the Aztecs. Last time I learned that Norway actually had started colonizing, and of course we took steps to stop that. We'll also be again attempting to get our 5 vassals set up, so we can actually try the religious reforms. But it's going to get quite interesting, simply because of the fact that well, setting up those reforms will be a little bit harsh. But again, I do want to secure the land, or as much land as possible, in terms of colonization before we do that. So on today's agenda is basically just more colonization. We'll probably secure the most of the northern coast, if not all of it. And we'll of course also most likely, potentially here, end up in a war with France, where the goal would be to stop their colonization in Africa and potentially just block them off completely if need be. We'll have to see what we want to do in terms of, again, potentially going for a complete block on the French here. It might happen, it might not, I'm a little bit unsure, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, just level 2 guys for the diplomacy slot, and we don't really need diplomacy tech right now, so we should be fine. Chitty Maka here has become a full-fledged colony, very good. And again here with that, we're just going to keep on colonizing, basically, to do as good as we can in terms of making progress, if you will, and hopefully we can do so without too much fuzz. And again, if something interesting happens, I'll show you. The only real problem right now that I think we'll face is to find that colonization will be expensive on the admin point scheme of things, but we'll sit back and see how this turns out. Hopefully there will be something interesting happen, but I pretty much doubt it. We'll see how it ends up. We can now take military tech 12 here. I waited till the change of the year to get a little bit cheaper, but there we go. Military tech 12 here, the Spanish square. With that we get increased military tactics by 0.25, as well as 2 new types of infantry in tertio and free shooter infantry. I'm going to be upgrading at the end of the month and keep on colonizing. Again, we're probably not going to do anything in terms of interesting, well, messing around with anymore right now. Castile is getting its ass kicked. Funnily enough, Tlemcen is actually invading Aragon. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Hispania here. We could potentially get the Moors invading the area. So again, very interesting. Of course, Brittany being big, beating France is also very interesting and not expected. So the map here could turn out to be pretty fun. The fact that Novgorod is still around is so impressive in its own right. But I'll sit back here and we'll see how things go here. If I can handle Norway or not. We'll see how it turns out. Well, war is thy desert, thy task. The young boy that was born under such favourable stars 15 years ago has now reached adulthood, and the time has come for him to go into battle. As with other boys of his age, he is expected to bring back his first prisoners soon, making the start of his career as a warrior. Should any of the boys fail to take captive, they will be forever marked as unfit to be warriors, and will have to continue days as men of little consequence. The omens favour this man, sure will do well. We'll send him forward to be tested. Or let's sacrifice some of our blood to aid him. So basically, we'll spill some of his blood, it will show aid of warrior, but if warriors defeat, our ruler's reputation will be affected. I have no idea how this actually works out. In theory here, I would assume that you'll lose some prestige and potentially some legitimacy if the event does not go your way and do this, because basically Mixcoatl is, I think, yeah, it's the current empress, so you're basically making a sacrifice of your own blood here to, in this case her blood, to aid the warrior. But we know what happened. I guess we'll just favour this man and see how it turns out. Now, this is funny. There's actually a Danish army here, an army of Danes. That is that's not good, but we should be able to handle that. Transport fleets will probably have to be taken out of these guys. They will no longer be mothballed. And we'll send them to pick up a 12,000 man fleet here to try and deal with the Danish invaders. Of course, it's going to cost me a little bit extra money, but nothing serious. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that the Danes actually sent a fleet to the Caribbean, of all places. It doesn't really make much sense, but they did. Now, again, after the upgrade of our army here, let's see if that helps. +1 diplomatic reputation. though will merit death by the obsidian knife. Despite the very favourable ones, it seems the young warrior born all those years ago has been captured by the enemy. Soon he will face his destiny as the sacrificial stone in their capital. While this is an honourable death, this disappointment of his house is great. So basically, I got some prestige even though the outcome of the event weren't basically in our favour. Now, I'm just going to do this because it gives me a little bit of extra prestige, and I can also inflict, of course, some war exhaustion on Denmark. We have a colony here becoming full-fledged one. So again, yeah, we're making, I would say we're making quite rapid growth here in a colonial aspect. And so far, Norway hasn't set up anything new, so we should be fine. We'll just focus on colonizing, and we'll see how this turns out. France, on the other hand, needs to probably be slowed down very, very soon. They are making some pretty big against themselves. I'm tempted to actually take the Grain Coast, but again, I'm a little bit worried that the potential of their fleet is a little bit too much for me to handle. We'll just have to wait and see. And of course, the army stuck in Vizcaya will probably get its ass handed to it if things turn bad here. Army-wise, the French do have 34,000 troops in use. They are allied with Hungary, Scotland, Switzerland, and Milan. So they don't really have any scary allies here. They also have war with Savoy. So I would presume they're also at war with the... Yeah, they are probably at war with the Holy Roman Emperor, which is actually, well, the Palinate right now, which is not impressive by any means. So France will probably win that war. But as I said, I think it's probably around time for me to go ahead here, if you will, and just how should I put this? And just declare war on France to secure the coast. Again, it's going to be kind of a harsh thing to do, but I think it's necessary. It's going to slow down my colonization in the north a little bit, but again, I feel it's kind of necessary to just keep France out of the colonial race completely, more than anything else. Colonize Cape to get a little bit of extra colonial speed. Cape is I have no idea where it is, but I'm pretty sure it's the southern tip of Africa, if I'm not completely mad. That was the wrong cape. Come on. I need Batman's cape. Oh, there we go. Yeah, southern tip of Africa. I need to colonize this one. So again, it's actually pretty easy to colonize. Might as well just go for that because it's helpful. But yeah, we're going to secure Africa as our own, because it's kind of, again, I see it necessary. And it shouldn't be problematic doing so. It's just going to slow down my colonization in North America a little bit. But again, that plus 25 to colonial rates will probably be, well, outweigh the negatives potentially. So I'll have to see what I end up deciding on here. But I think we're going to end up in a pretty alright situation, all things considered. So I'll just keep on colonizing, and we'll see how things turn out. So I have very bad news. We have a call for peace against Portugal. The reason why is basically due to the fact that we have, well, we have secured another province here. Galicia has basically done something very, very bad. Leon has done some expansion on his own. Castile is basically history. But again, this was a very, very awkward situation in terms of dealing with Portugal here. I really need Portugal to be able to re-siege some of their provinces. They have lost their army that they had stationed on the island, so it's kind of interesting. They do have 10,000 troops somewhere, potentially in Portugal itself, so they will probably be able to re-siege, hopefully. So for the time being, I'll just go ahead and completely ignore the fact that we do have a call for peace. Hopefully I can earn enough diplomatic power to ignore that in the future, but it is, again, it's doubtful, let's just be honest. I'm just going to go ahead here and fabricate a claim on Sierra Leone. And again, the goal here will be to secure the provinces from... Oh, this time I get colonialism. I did not get that against Norway, hilariously enough, I think. Or did I? No, just a no war casus belli. But I got it against France, that's good. So it seems like, funnily enough here, that the colonial casus belli works in a kind of interesting way. Since this North America is counted as my home continent, I don't actually get a colonialism casus belli when I have two colonies next to each other, because this isn't really a colony, or this wouldn't be a colony for me. It would actually be part of my homeland. It doesn't really work on tariff basis, and that is why apparently I didn't get the casus belli, but nothing to do about that right now. I think I'm just going to go pretty much straightforward here. It's pretty forcefully. I'm also going to be using probably trade companies here to again get some more merchants, which in turn hopefully will bring in more cash. So we're definitely interested in securing the African charters here for our own good, basically. And in terms of trade map mode, as you can see here, the money that we then get in Africa itself, we can actually channel it into first into Brazil if you want to. No, sorry, Brazil will actually channel into Ivory Coast. We can channel that to the Caribbean. So I'll have to see what I want to do, if I want to use the Caribbean as my basically sole. There's apparently someone else here that's stealing money from me, so I definitely need a fleet here to just keep it in check. But I think I'll probably use potentially Chesapeake Bay here as my main collection of money. Potentially both of these places I'll have to see. But it's definitely bad here. I might have to just set up a fleet to control that for the time being. But we'll wait and see. I'll not focus too much on the trading aspect just yet, but it could probably bring me a couple of extra ducats a month. But again, for the time being, we are going to wage a war on France. I do want their colony. And since I do have a casus belli, there's no reason for me to piss off Europe more than I need to. So with that, we'll sit back and wait. The colonies again, it's going pretty well, pretty straightforward, making progress, making bank. And the funny thing is, I'm not actually going to create a new colony right away, because we're going to snatch the French one. So let's just go ahead here and declare war. Tuscany will join, Milan will join, Scotland will join, Hungary will join. So in theory here, I might take a little bit more than I can chew, but again, I would just want to some degree stop the French, basically. If I can pull that off, great. If I can't pull it off, that's just how things are going to be. We're going to seize Cairo here, and I'm going to send a colonist from my land to basically flip the colony to my setup. And if I'm lucky here, I might end up in a situation where I have, well, the Danes actually doing something to help me here. There's a Portuguese army here, but they're not actually re-sieging anything, which again makes very little sense in terms of strategy. Pomerania, white peace. I have nothing to gain from Pomerania, so I'm perfectly fine with that. But I would definitely prefer it if Portugal were able to actually siege or take care of Galicia here, but they basically seem very much unable to do so. No interest in making peace with any of these guys. But as I was saying here, we will definitely be trying to keep both of these colonies under our control. And I think I can actually create one more colony here, if I'm not completely mistaken. 7 colonies, yeah, I should be able to set up at the very least one more. So there was probably a colony here completed that I did not pay attention to, and that's my bad. But we'll just core, we'll try and work with our colonies here, and we'll see how the war with the French go. Should I lose a battle or actually get in any battle of any kind, I'll show you. I'll probably be focusing a lot on this area to try and keep the fleets at bay, but we'll have to see what actually happens. In terms of troop, I do still have 12,000 man army that I will be sending around should we have any invasions on our soil. So I'll sit back here and see what happens, and hopefully Portugal can just re-siege. No, it was actually enough that it did win that battle to get myself into a very good position here. But I might just sneak that 12,000 man army to the Portuguese island here to again just secure that one. I should probably also take steps to secure Bermuda, but I haven't done that just yet. And with this, as you can see, there is a Portuguese, sorry, not Portuguese, just Milanese 1,000-man soldier getting deployed here to the island. So we'll deal with them. But again, we're going to a Tuscany Navy as well. They are definitely being bold here, just attacking. So I'm going to have to play with these guys for a little while until I can white peace them, which is probably going to take well, a fair amount of time. But again, with France, as long as I can just block these guys and just basically colonize against the coast here, I should be perfectly fine. And it's not really that I need to do a lot of colonizing either, for that matter. So I might just try and secure the Horn of Africa and also the northern, well, of course, provinces here. But it'll probably take a fair amount of time still. But as things currently are, we're looking good. So I'll just sit back here and we'll see how things turn out. But on that note, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. Please feel comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and we'll continue our war with France next time. Bye!